I'm kind of fed up with the... Sorry, just because I'm looking at, like, Sam D played Yunara yesterday, Carzzy played Corki. I'm kind of fed up with this trade because it does not seem to go Corki's way a lot of the time.
No, it doesn't. Yunara just seems like an overall much more powerful champion, and Corki is, I feel like, supposed to get control early on. It's not getting...
Not really happening.
Not getting much of anything. But maybe this will be proven wrong here. I feel like the Fleshy Carzzy duo has already looked pretty solid as we see the Kiana banned, as is the Nako, Pantheon, the Jace. So a lot of jungle target bans, followed by the Rumble. Okay, so we're going to get a different top lane matchup.
Malphite?
Oh, wait,
I just want to see him. I just want to see him one time. Please.
Oh, okay, no, we're fine. I was like, oh, I missed the who side selection. What's the... Maybe it's the red side first pick, but it's not the ban order. Showing us the truth. A normal, standard, regular draft of League of Legends. Had a smile on his face. The boys feeling good after their win yesterday. Both these teams yet to drop a game. I love making dramatic statements after undefeated. But they've picked Azir, which is a little loss for all of us. Even if it may help facilitate a win for them.
Look, you're going to need to save me here, Rhilech. You brought out the Kiana yesterday.
Come on.
You're willing to play the funky stuff.
Where to spice?
Don't just go Wukong or
Taliyah.
Pantheon Taliyah. Oh,
Yes.
It's
Pantheon's banned.
It's Pantheon's banned.
It's
Pantheon is
probably
banned.
Wukong.
So it's probably Wukong. Or Vi. Actually, it's probably Vi.
Vi.
Yeah. Vi Taliyah is minimum.
No, I agree. Vi, it wasn't Vi question mark. I'm like, Vi. I'm manifesting Vi.
Yeah.
Not because I want it, because I want you to be right. And that's the kind of friend
I would
that
be
am.
happy to be wrong in this situation.
Yeah, that's fair. Now, interestingly, it was Poby yesterday who played the Azir and Humanoid yesterday who played the Taliyah. So they've swapped sides. And also, Grudge Match, who replaced Humanoid last year, it was the Popester. Do either of these guys have bad blood? Probably not. But
No.
wouldn't it be cool if they did?
Can you have bad blood against Poby? That man just seems very wholesome.
No.
And kind of just happy to be here. You know?
I don't think it's possible.
Yeah.
But maybe we can get a little bit of smack talk afterwards. Who knows? As the Yunara is going to be the lock-in here from the side of Navi. So, tier list drafting. But, you know, honestly, Yunara looks so good. I can't fault any team for picking it. As what is the final option for Vitality? I imagine they pick AD here. If not, the good news is we get to see something new.
It might just be Corki.
You think so?
It might actually just be Corki.
Corki?
Yeah.
Nah, they
I
wouldn't
mean,
do
it might
that.
be a little wild.
Corki!
It might be a little out there. But yeah.
Crazy. Now, I like Xin at least. I like Xin against a team that's so dependent on higher
When are we
range
getting
damage.
Zombie Xin skin since he's like technically
dead?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's a good question.
Yeah, because we have Zombie Rise. You could have Zombie Xin and Zombie Rise.
That would be very cool. That is a lore follow-through that I think Riot Games needs to look into. But given that he can still be locked in the game, they're not as committed as they were in 2015 when they killed Gangplank for like a week. Also, why couldn't there be two Gangplanks? If there's like Xin Zhao and Xin Zhao's inhabited possessed body, why couldn't we get old GP and new GP at the same time?
Yeah,
I want to
make
kill
him
my
like,
own minion.
God, what's his name in Pirates of the Caribbean? What's the guy with the tentacle face?
Davy Jones. Is that Dave Jones?
I don't know if it is anymore.
Davy
But we could do that, where we got like old Gangplank, and then he's got Alewi magic, and now he comes back as
I'm just saying.
face man.
I'm just saying this is $1 million ideas.
Yeah.
That's. I don't know if they're listening, but they should be. Bard taken away. Ambessa now locked in. I like that we've mismatched. That would be spicy. I like that we've mismatched, potentially. I would assume mismatched the first phase of pick bans, because it means we're going to open up for some more interesting champions as Jax is taken away.
Okay. Well, I
Fair
mean,
enough. Jax jungle probably into the Zen.
Yeah, that's what I'm
can't
thinking.
Get the knock up. Pretty miserable 1v1.
Yeah, I haven't watched enough of the Ambessa Xin Zhao jungle matchup to know exactly how that goes, but I still think like especially when you've got the Taliyah there and the public execution, I think you can try and play around that. But easily could just be like, hey, we ban Jax, we ban Wukong, or Vi in this situation. The other one gets picked for next rotation by Navi, and you just go for the Ambessa on that top side. The fact that they haven't banned away some of the top lane picks to make that Ambessa's life a little bit more comfortable says to me, though, it might just be going into the jungle.
Or they're incredibly confident as Rakan is now the ban away. Navi going to open up with their 4 pick. Could just try to secure a bot lane matchup here. Get a support pick that's really going to make sure that you can dominate. Alistar's been a very common pairing Wouldn't be surprised to see it locked in again. Of course, the expectation is that it loses early on, but we've seen a lot of games where the Yunara Alistar has essentially just gone completely unpunished. It feels like something on paper where they should lose horribly, but it seems like they just lose out on Prime on the first few levels and then can fight back instantly.
I mean, Yunara is still relatively strong early. I think it's just like Corki is very, very strong.
Yeah.
So he's still relatively okay, but yeah, I think it's just also the answer to the Alistar is going to be Braum, usually. But Corki, Braum, you kind of lose a lot of that lane power as well with this, so and you can just get to scale, so you kind of have to fight fire with fire a little bit.
Renata? Nautilus. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's a little bit more aggressive. Now the question is, though, do you just slam Renekton as Nako and be convinced that that's Ambessa's going topside? Or does Rhilech actually take the Ambessa into the jungle and then you get a counter pick from Maynter?
Oh, slam Renekton.
Okay, so where's the... Because this is a terrible matchup for Ambessa. So if I'm Rhilech, I take the Ambessa, thank one for the team, and then Maynter could answer with the Cassante here on that top side. Just have the scaling matchup and absolutely destroy this Renekton when you get to the mid game.
It's a little bit rough too, though. Regardless, it's kind of a tough decision.
Yeah.
Either way, someone has to draw the short end of the stick.
There it is, yeah.
I think it's Rhilech. All right, here we are, Cassante, the Ambessa jungle. Rhilech just continuing to cook.
I really like this draft from Navi. Like, keeping that Ambessa open as the flex. Cassante, once he gets the Iceborne Gauntlet and the Bramble Vest, just beats the Renekton in the side lane, so you get side lane pressure. You've got good mid jungle setup as well, where you've got enough lockdown with the level 6 to try and set up for plays. And you got Alistar that can roam as well. And I love that they just kept that flex, because this is something we've seen over in the LCK and LPL, but really haven't had inklings here in the LEC yet.
And again, I like that we're seeing some players really willing to push the meta. I like 2 days in a row now. Kiana yesterday, now the Ambessa today. Leveraging the nature of the flex pick as well to ensure that they could get a favorable matchup in draft, something that is always just doubles down on the value of creative picks like this, assuming that it goes well in game. We'll need to keep an eye on the Ambessa just to see what her impact can be like. Post level 6, it's easy to understand what she does. Pre-level 6, hard to imagine her pulling off a lot of successful ganks, but it's going to be something that we'll have to track. Both of these teams finding victory in day 1. Only one of them will be undefeated heading into day 3. Will it be NAVI? A massive rebuild for this team overall. Or will it be the Vitality lineup, bringing in Humanoid? Aiming
The highest of highs.
Here we are.
I want you to do the rest of the cast like that.
Here we are. Summoner's Rift. A desolate land.
I don't think I can do it for a whole cast, Rob. I think I'll hurt my voice.
The weird David Attenborough impression I never knew I needed.
Here we see
Oh, Fleshy.
Oh! Is that a dog fighting a cow in pajamas? Fleshy running.
Yeah.
Insanely good trade for Navi level 1.
Yeah.
What?
Like, Alistar is bad because he can't get onto you.
Also, lethal
but if
tempo.
you just walk onto him.
Yeah, lethal tempo level 1, incredibly strong. Just so much raw stats, and Carzzy really just can't get the Conqueror up fast enough, or does it matter nearly as much as that additional attack speed? Now, important note from our wonderful production team, Ambessa Jungle currently 4-9 in Tier 1 competitive 2026, so not a very successful champion, but maybe in LEC it will be, as a really solid Polv is going to interrupt Fleshy's initial engage, and bot lane calming down at least a little bit after that spicy level 1.
I'm keeping my eyes on Lyncas though to see, because Ambessa early against Xin Zhao, I feel like the Xin Zhao should win out. Just the ability to chase her down with the slows, and also he's got the healing and everything. But at the moment, it's going to be kind of difficult to get that control that you want to look for the invade, because Fleshy losing out on that early level 1 means you get push on boss. Poby's able to keep up pushing mid as well. So it's just difficult to actually look for these invade timers. So I think Rhilech should be in a position where you can just get to scaling to the point where Ambessa becomes very strong still in those team fights.
Yeah, and I think overall you are looking for that power, that presence in team fight, the immediate access to backline. But early game, Xin is a pretty powerful champion just generally in terms of how his kit is built. Keep in mind, Ambessa's shortest cooldown at level 3 when she has all of her abilities is 13 seconds. Every other ability is 14, it's 18. You get 1 round of spells in that jungle all-in, and then you lose the fight. So, Xin also has built-in sustain. Ambessa doesn't get it till 6, so maybe if you dance around, dodge enough of Zin's 1 targetable ability. But yes, in general, pretty grim in the 1v1, although the clear speed still solid. See Parus going all in here. Level 3, feeling confident just to step up into Fleshy. Gets the additional hook, but now they're turning it back. That's the ignite ticking. Parus running. The heal, though, just barely keeping him alive. Cal manages to make it out. Samdi holding the line.
Both supports there playing really well around the aftershock wearing off. Parus went for the re-engage as Fleshy just went to disappear so Samdi could get the good trade. But, I mean, Parus barely surviving actually means this works out well for NAVI because they're going to get pushed, and I don't think he can stick around to hold the wave. Do the resets get cancelled on the bottom lane, or no? They're just going to go back to base.
Moving up top side to cover so that Nako can play a little bit more aggressive. They weren't entirely sure, I think, where Rhilech was, but he was bot lane to cover that push out from Samdi.
And the reason I say that it's a win for Samdi and Parus on the bottom side is you can see the CS lead. They got a good trade. They're preventing that CS from going in. They had the Ambessa there to cover, and even looking at a potential dive. So in this position, Samdi and Parus, again, like this Corki, just isn't stacking up when it comes towards the lane dominance that it's supposed to have.
Yeah. Losing out. They were, of course, close to getting that all in, and they do now have a flash advantage in the bot lane. So as we get closer to Lyncas, maybe looking for a setup. He is in the bot lane now, or at least on the bottom side. There's an angle of attack there to take Parus out, especially pre-6. Alistar could be so vulnerable. Does have the aftershock, though, just to make sure that still has some tankiness to keep himself standing.
At least the breath of fresh air for Parus is that Zhao is going to be moving towards the top side. He's just cleared off. Krug's going to move now up into that top half of the map, which more says to me that maybe they can try and look for and evade with the pressure from Nako on towards topside jungle on the camp respawns, but still going to be a bit of an odd timer because of the Rhilech start where they separated where the camp's responding.
Could be a little bit awkward. Overall, though, pretty quiet early game. Waiting just for that flash to come off cooldown. Parus going for the combo, though. Rhilech's on the way in, and Fleshy immediately forced to flash. That's the summoner spell he saved earlier. Now I don't even think it's going to save him. They're still going forward. These are the cooldowns we mentioned before, though. It's going to take a while before Ambessa can go again. A few more seconds. The hook into the wall. Ambessa just doesn't have any spells. She finally gets one. Oh, she just can't hit on the Q2. And I like the aggression.
Wait a sec. They're still going.
Defiance. Break count step. Keeping him in range of Carzzy. Flash back. Credit to NAVI.
And look at the wave that's just about to be lost by this Corki. Samdi just gets to shove it in. He's getting played. And Rhilech and Parus, this is really good aggression to force control in this bottom half of the map.
Yeah, Rhilech, I did not see the angle, but he certainly did. Incredibly, a few seconds difference in cooldown. He would have been able to kill Fleshy. They forced the flash out of Carzzy, deleting the small advantage that Fleshy and Carzzy got themselves earlier on when Parus overextended. Top side of the map, level 6s are coming out. I don't think we'll see too much here in the 1v1 quite yet, although maybe Nako can go for an early plate.
Yeah, I wasn't sure with the changes in summoner spells you have to take on the top side, whether there was something you could change in this matchup, but Nako opting in towards the Ghost doesn't really, teeter this matchup into any different spot. So for Maynter, it's just survive until you finish now after the Bramble Vest, the Iceborne Gauntlet, and you just take over in this matchup. So at this stage, I don't, like, Nako's wants to try and play for plates and try and play for gold that way, but with the changes to Demolish, doesn't really work out as well. So you're still relying on a lot of those crystal shards to actually get that gold that you want, and they just don't build up quite as quick.
I will say I really do like having access to Ghost against Cassante just for the all-in, because it's when people have boots too, it can already be really tough to hit those Qs, to hit the Pathmaker W. When they've got Ghost as well, I mean, you can just get danced around. It
also nullifies one of Renekton's biggest problems, which is just getting kited in team fights. So as you get to the later portion, that's why, like, the big thing that they talked about with, like, LPL Renektons, and they were crazy, was they just held their flash for dragon fights, and then it was on a 5-minute timer for every dragon fight. But with the Ghost, it means you've actually still got access to chase a lot of these members down. So if you get headbutted away by Parus, you're still relevant.
Fleshy manages to connect pushback. First blood. Fleshy takes it. Not ideal, but getting the kill in mid lane. Perfect as Nako now going all in, uses the Ghost, running down Maynter, forcing the flash out. Big advantages for Vitality in mid lane and top lane.
Yeah, and now Maynter doesn't have that TP. Should be able to get back up into the top side at least fairly quick, but that tower will take damage.
Immediately going all in here. Multi-W not going to connect, however, and Samdi forced to back up. I think they were hoping to get the full kill to finish, turn it into plates, balance out some of the gold lost on the rest of the map. Unfortunately, they can't quite find the angle, but they do zone Carzzy and Fleshy off the wave. I kind of saw this yesterday, too, to be honest, which was Carzzy and Fleshy suffering early on. Humanoid and the rest of the map doing pretty well.
I mean, it's good to see Samdi back in Tier 1. Like, a lot of, for people who don't know, he was part of that V5 Miracle roster that nearly made it to Worlds. They ended up just barely missing out on one of their playoff games to make it, but it was like with Mole and PP God, and they were one of the players that a lot of people were expecting to hit that main Worlds stage.
Very serious player names.
Yeah, but honestly, like, it's cool to see him back. Like, he's just a very fun player to watch.
Yeah, and I think it's always tough when you have that single split to show the best, as we see the response engaged in the mid lane. Humanoid just able to flash out in time as Rhilech's on the chase. The kill will get finished. Going over to the jungler of NAVI. Trade of blows between both sides centered around this mid lane.
But Parus looks revitalized coming into this year, working with Rhilech so well over the last 2 games. Like, we got to see the play already on that bottom side, and then just kind of the alley-oop doesn't quite work out, but still nets the kill, and now it's Navi on towards the grubs. Lyncas still sticking around.
That does. 1 for 1 on the grubs now, so he was able to get 2. Hook is gonna catch out Maynter. Looks a little odd there for a second, but it did connect. Second grub goes to the side of Vitality. The gold within touching distance, though. And so far, a pretty even game. The biggest discrepancy is that Fleshy did get that kill.
But look who they moved up. So Corki was already shifting up towards that top side to try and see if he could help out, which means he's just losing more CS on that bottom side. The gold lead, 500 now for Sam D. Carzzy just has not had the success that he's hoping for in this bottom lane.
Definitely struggling. This matchup, maybe working better in scrims. Maybe the Corki's, playing a bit more aggressive there, and that's what pays off. That's why teams are prioritizing it so much. But yet another example of the Yunara coming out on top. Nako sidestep on the Pathmaker. Maynter, remember, lost Flash in the previous play. Nako still has his, but doesn't want to commit too much to going under tower. As supports have now joined their mid laners, just trying to make sure everybody's safe. So everything's kind of stabilized. We're 3 minutes away from the next Drake, but maybe there's a play to be had. I guess bot lane does seem like the most volatile place on the map.
Yeah, I think Humanoid's Flash should be up just in time for it, but maybe there's a play Navi can try and make towards mid lane. Like, Parus flashes in, you get Rhilech with the ultimate and try and kill off Humanoid before the next objective. It's a little risky if Lyncas and Fleshy are able to cover, because you can't get shuffled back into the tower.
Parus, knock up, holding the punt, already gets the auto, knocks Carzzy back to try to make the trade as favorable as possible. Parus is only level 5, crucially though, flash away from Fleshy. Dodges the empowered W, double barriers traded. Rhilech on the way down, splitting, level 8 to level 8. He and Lyncas might just go for the 1v1. Rhilech likes his odds, but Parus overstaying, is gonna get caught out, finally able to ult Carzzy, still able to finish the kill.
Parus' path team was terrible there. She should have taken the long way around, but tries to take the shortcut and gets punished. Good hook from Fleshy.
Carzzy continuing to step up. Great hook from Fleshy, as you highlighted. I think lost sight of his jungler, thought he had more support than he did. Lyncas also able to escape with his life. Does lose the flash, but now Rhilech here to cover. Parus just doing his best to get back. Vitality's bot lane. Curtis talking smack.
Yeah, all the hard work has kind of just been undone there. Carzzy now not that far behind, but Rhilech trying to change it.
Is able to ult, stop any of the follow-up damage from coming in from Sam D. Good presence of mind, hits both targets with the depth charge. But now it's Poby on the way down. Doesn't want to commit an ulti of his own. Maybe happy with plates, knowing that Vitality can't do much here. Even walking under tower is a bit of a risk if Navi want to push one more wave, but again, they're just content with a small advantage, not getting too greedy.
I think it's the right call. Again, as you say, Dragon very soon. You don't want to blow a lot of the advantages that you could potentially have. But still, again, like Vitality, you're starting to they had somewhat corrected on the bottom side. Carzzy obviously still behind, but like I think these little mistakes still there for Navi. We'll have to see how this next dragon works out.
It'll be big. So far, Poby hasn't really used the Weaver's Wall to be active on the map. Maybe something that he could look to do. Cooldown coming up pretty soon. But both teams, it feels like bot play traded for bot play, traded for mid play, traded for mid play. There's some top action, but not too much. Maynter still losing out in the 1v1, as you mentioned. Wants another item. It's Black Weaver first for Nako just to make sure he can eat through the armor that's already being stacked. Just on the way up. Always a difficult prospect to dive a Cassante, but
Rhilech now very quickly using his abilities to get topside though.
done there. Pushback from Maynter is going to ult and go all out. So Flash traded for Flash. Rhilech on the way up, as you highlighted. Red buff empowering him. Good initial burst damage follow-up is there from Maynter. The footwork to empower to keep the shield going, and it's Lyncas who walks too far forward. Navi quick to punish.
A nice change in direction from Rhilech. Was moving down towards that bottom side for the dragon we were talking about. But moving off his Raptors, just shifts top lane, uses those abilities to hop, skip, and jump his way up. And put Vitality into the dirt. Now should be able to move over towards that dragon. This Humanoid looks like he's trying to interrupt Poby, but I don't think there's very much he can do.
Difficult to approach. The range just favors the Taliyah when Humanoid doesn't have the setup. Back onto the map as well, walking straight down to the Drake. He's pretty far ahead at this point. Well on his way to 2 items. Just ticked over to the free boots too, so that much harder to get away from. Good news is Lyncas in a similar boat. Sundersky, a very powerful item spike. Maybe something can be done here. Yeah, I like that. Someone cheering. Woo! If this is your first LEC pause, we do it a little different. No, it's a normal pause. We'll keep you up to date as I get more information from the production team. I could speculate randomly, but generally the people in charge of the league get pretty mad when I do that. But it could be anything from someone spilled water on their keyboard to someone needs a bathroom break to, I don't know, game-breaking bug. Who knows? But right now it looks like it's probably something pretty chill, given that nothing crazy was happening at the time of the pause. And so the initial investigation has begun. We should do it like AGDQ, do the speed run. The any percent bug resolve.
I mean, well, we did it fairly quick because we were back in game. Yeah.
Whoa! Carzzy unplugged his keyboard, folks.
Oh my
Carzzy
God.
unplugged his keyboard.
Oh my God.
He's plugged it back in. We had to stop, but he's plugged it back in, folks. He did it. Confirmed. League officials have confirmed. We've resumed the game. The Drake has been taken, and I'm hearing now in my ear, keyboard still plugged in.
So it was actually the keyboard plug-in any percent. I didn't realize that was the category we're running.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You could donate to win this. No, I don't know.
Yeah. If you check out our TikTok, though, we'll have all the core strats up there.
There you go.
Yeah,
we're just
USB skip
and
yeah.
You guys have to understand the any percent category for replugging in a keyboard. A lot of crazy tech has been discovered. It's Fleshy.
Yeah, it's got wireless.
It's got wireless. Yeah, actually, what? How does a keyboard get unplugged? It's 2026. Anyway, Humanoid wants to push topside. Is shadowed by his support. Gotta love that Parus and Fleshy are like 80 carries. We don't care anymore. It's all about shadowing our mid laners, giving these guys the support they deserve.
Yeah, but it does mean it's like 15 minutes, and Parus doesn't have a support quest.
Yes.
So definitely a little bit behind. And that's kind of the disadvantage of roaming everywhere, unless you're just dealing a lot of damage and making up for it, you know?
Also, shout out to Fleshy. This is an aggressive support build, right?
Yeah.
Not opting for the Celestial opposition. He's going for also for the pipes, which the general, the Vandal pipes are just a very strong item. But this man trying to do some damage, trying to do some work. Parus, luckily not going to eat that hook. We'll just barely be able to walk it out. Celestial opposition's proc, so small advantage for Vitality. And it's time. Herald fight? Full on 5v5? Probably not.
You will notice in the bot lane, though, Iceborne Gauntlet completed. And immediately the top laner is winning for our NAVI, but Humanoid.
Kind of Humanoid. Gliding his way out. Parus just continuing to chase Lyncas on the way to try and interrupt. Pushback only connecting on a Parus. That just means he's going to hit the auto anyway. The flick connects. Poby takes the kill. And that's pretty devastating for the side of Vitality. sidelines now on the bot side. Maynter missing the Pathmaker. It's a pretty long cooldown. Can go all out to reset it. Misses the Q3. Will go all out. And I think he just needs to walk this one off. But instead he wants to go right back in. Dashing through. Q3 not going to do much. Nako clean with the footwork.
Dodging all the Qs to make sure that he was able to win out on that one. It's a little something back for Vitality. But in the mid lane, Sam D pushing in. Got some turret plates, denied some CS. You're still getting Rift Herald going across to NAVI as well. So Vitality desperately needed some sort of silver lining, and it's Nako to give it to them.
Yeah, Nako 1.3K individual gold lead, and that's not a champion gap. That is a movement gap in that all-in. Maynter not able to hit, I think, a single Pathmaker of the two he casts. Pretty difficult. That said, Navi overall still with a lead of their own, still with 2 Drakes. So I think their map state pretty nice for them. No one is here to respond to Humanoid splitting on top side though, so the side lanes for this Vitality lineup just continuing to find little advantages. Humanoid, despite going down in the previous play, almost dead even on gold, only about a 200 difference.
I'm curious how you want to get value from this Rift Herald though for Rhilech, because mid lane is already, you can see there, just so low. Again, you just kind of group up, you should be able to take that. And then it just becomes a case of how do you move that pressure from mid into top side and getting the Rift Herald to start getting some more of these plates down. And if it is going to go towards Maynter or Sam D, like, you already got 2 items for Yunara. She can very quickly start to snowball out of control here.
Yeah, and Fiend Hunter Bolts, I think, is maybe not as strong of a scaling option, although it does give more frequent access to the ult. But in terms of a 2-item power spike, really powerful. As the Flick does connect on the Humanoid. Decent chunk here. Wave on the way, but Vitality are there to cover, so I don't know if Poby's actually going to have the time to step up and proc the Crystal if Lyncas does want to stick around.
It is weird from Navi though. They've doubled up with both solo laners top, which is just giving their opportunity now for the bot lane to be taken by Nako.
And here we go. On the way in. Flashback for Poby. Good reaction speed. Lyncas good backstep to get away from the seismic shove. But in the meantime, yeah, you're right. Nako the one who's winning. And that whole exchange just solo taking that tower in the bottom lane.
Yeah, because Navi have very much been in control for a lot of this game. But the fact now, well, it is answered mid, but you're gotten both side lane towers down now, thanks to Nako, and you're also starting to get the gold onto, like, just so much gold onto this Renekton with the Ghost. He can still be a fairly sizable problem when it comes to team fights.
And again, Hysterics Gauge also finished now. The tenacity certainly nice to have. A lot of additional AD as well as the shield. Now the setup for the objective, of course, bot lane even, top lane relatively even, so both sides, free to just fist fight here if they so choose. Parus, though, the potential for multi-man headbutt pull. Something we have to keep our eye on is the Herald is going to be dropped in the midst of the pit.
No Muramana completed for the Corki as well, so Carzzy needs to get that finished.
Might have misclicked the Herald as he did hop in and then crash it into a wall. And then she'll catch out on a Fleshy. Nako not able to find the back line as the Chemtech Drake goes down. It looks like Navi do want to back away. Rhilech flashing out instantly, but it's Lyncas straight in. Maynter trying to pull away. Low taking Elfbar. Nako not able to do a damn thing. He's been isolated. He's been brought back up into the air. Finally, the Renekton is set to fall. Samdi free to do whatever he wants. Navi team fighting looking incredible. The flick hits onto Lyncas. He goes back in, stuns himself, and dies. That was incredible.
How the hell is the entirety of Navi still standing? And with 20 minutes just ticked over, they are immediately running for the Baron. Navi have blown the game open with that fight. And you call it, Dracos. That was incredible.
I mean, the fact that Lyncas doesn't get that kill at the end either is wild.
I want to keep my eyes on Carzzy in the middle of this fight, though. I think Poby hits a flick onto him in the back of this because he suddenly ends up at the front. We get it just as it goes on. So the engage comes through. Lyncas tries to make a play, but watch here as Poby, hits the stone onto Carzzy, which then completely sets up then for Rhilech to jump into the back line. Carzzy just isn't a factor in this fight, and Vitality get chased down. So great flick from Poby in the middle, and Maynter with the shield. The CC was there. It is perfect for Navi.
Navi looking like a threat. Found the win day one on their way to 2-0. 4.4K gold lead. Soul point. Look at that Poby damage.
Taliyah's not supposed to do that. That's not how that champion's supposed to work.
Yeah, when the Taliyah Yunara are doing this much work, you gotta be sweating.
Taliyah is doing that much work.
Hitting a lot of stuff. And you gotta say the Unraveled Earth against Renekton and Zhao is pretty devastating. It is really hard for Lyncas to knock Nako without a flank to play these fights. You can see Nako is so powerful. Not just in the context of the 1v1, but if he can get on any target from Navi. The thing is, he didn't get on any target from Navi at all. And so essentially just went down for nothing.
I also, for taking the fight, I think Vitality just weren't really up to scratch when it came to the items. You didn't have the Mura mana actually completed from Carzzy. That's why they moved him to the mid lane. He just hit 300 mana, so it was very far away from being able to complete that before the fight started. And you'd only had the Nashor's Tooth on towards Humanoid, so the actual DPS available for Vitality just didn't really seem to be spiking. And I think it was a good job from Navi to punish the fact that that wasn't there.
Yeah. Really comfortable now with the 1500 bolts. They likely complete the IE here on Samdi before the next big fight in the duration of this Baron. Maybe even a third item for Poby as he only has the combined cost left from that Leandries. Nako still furiously split pushing, and there is an objective bounty to be claimed, so this won't be a negligible amount of gold. However, I don't think it'll put a dent in the overall team difference, even if it does put him farther ahead individually. Sadly, he can't. Oh, no, he's going to stick around.
I mean, they have to do something, but...
Hook, flick back. This is not the play. Fleshy hoping to hold that tower. Humanoid can set up another one if he wants to, trying to catch Poby. Poby again, great reactions as Samdi just goes in on Humanoid and pops him.
And now you got to TP back to try and defend parts of your base, but Navi, they're just going to be able to step away here. There's the Ghost.
Nako.
You got to go.
Ghost.
You got to just go.
That back step was a little bit awkward. I think hoping for something flash forward. The wall from Poby! Oh, that was terrible! That was absolutely not the wall that they wanted! That
was not it. That was the idea. Great. Execution. Lots of flaws.
We know now. If there was any doubt in your mind, he's an EU mid. You can't.
Wow.
Doesn't matter if it's JoJo, if it's Humanoid, if it's Caps, if it's anybody, if it's Vladdy. You gotta just have moments where you do something kind of bad. It's the balancing act.
Yeah.
The Thanos meme from 10 years ago.
We're going to just show it again. But, I mean, he has had a fantastic game. Poby has looked absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Sam D, brilliant follow-up.
Great.
TP comes in. They're like, okay, and I like the idea. Hey, I'll put up the wall and we can stop them from coming through. The problem was... you gotta make sure they're on the opposite side of the wall. You know? Yeah.
Did not like the potential for a deathless Samdi, it would seem. A brother Poby supporting Vitality very briefly there, and it's a decent amount of money back. Now, it's still, if you look at that center of the bottom scoreboard, you'll notice about 2,000 gold apiece for Rhilech, Poby, and Samdi. So I don't think Vitality are out of the woods quite yet.
Dragon's about to spawn as well. Chemtech's all available for Navi, so Vitality...
Turn to Carzzy. Carzzy's immediately going to die. There's no way they stop this. Rhilech already back into Humanoid. He's completely isolated. It's a disaster for Vitality. They're going to try to recover what they can, but Maynter catches him out of the way. You're not supposed to be allowed to have Ambessa and Cassante on the same team, Rob.
It's a little disgusting. It's a little disgusting.
It's original Cassante and modern era Cassante at the same time. I didn't appreciate it until we saw it there, but that was... I'm a believer in the Ambessa jungle. Navi are demolishing Vitality. The creative pick here, the flex on the top lane, absolutely paying off.
And Navi tweeted out yesterday saying, oh my god, we got our first win at LEC. I feel like this roster has plenty more coming because this is insane. This roster looks so good.
And now it just feels impossible for Vitality to play Chemtech Soul on the Ambessa Cassante team. Yeah. And you gotta respect the mental fortitude of professional players. That would have been it for me. I would have packed it up. SpongeBob meme, time to head out, surrender vote. Let's go to the next one. Vitality gonna do their best to find a way back into this game.
And Maynter got to the right side of the wall.
They did get to the right side of the wall. Humanoid's dead. Picked off in a side lane. Old habits die hard, as it was. And now Navi poised at least to take the single inhibitor. They may just move up to the top side to try to deny the Baron. It seems like Vitality feel like that's their best option for a way back in.
Yeah, but what if you just lose the base?
That's very possible, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, they don't have a wave, at least. That one's making its way down mid lane.
Lyncas, incredible 50-50 steal off the Mega Blast Cone, which Navi didn't deny.
I mean, it would definitely be a miracle. But
Sometimes you need a miracle.
Off is just like a cow in the way.
That would be really tough, yes. And there does seem to be a cow in the way. Lyncas found the cow. Cow's still in the way. Baron 3K getting lower. Nako not going to quite be able to get into the pit. Maybe hoping to find a fight, but he's just being publicly executed. His lane advantage deleted. It no longer matters. Maynter still alive. Q3 manages to catch out Carzzy, but they're taking out Rhilech. Somebody finally coming over the wall, though. Carzzy flashing away from the empowered W, but the GA is there. The cooldowns, however, aren't. Carzzy finally allowed to open up. Parus down. Triple for Carzzy, hoping for more, but Somdi does not give a damn. Double for him, hoping to make it 3 as he and Poby remain standing.
Sam D getting the pop off at the end. But that was a weird fight from Navi. Different calls on whether they wanted to go in, whether they wanted to go out, because Baron gets taken, and you see Maynter and Parus running interference. But as this fight progresses, you can see here Sam D ends up in the pit with Poby. Don't want to try and push forward into Humanoid, which means your damage dealers just are getting nothing done. Sam D hops over the wall, and that kind of gives them that opportunity to follow up. But that was the only reason it kind of worked out, because Poby was just completely taken out of the equation thanks to Humanoid.
Somdi obviously really powerful. You can see that Carzzy, when he has room to maneuver, can do a ton of damage.
Yunara time!
It's
actually, like, low-key, I'm kind of tapping them now, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I agree.
Yeah.
It's hard to replicate that particular circumstance. And also, maybe Boots 2 at some point would be pretty good. Movement speed. Looks like it'd be nice to have. But for now, he's brown bagging it.
So, this is just going to be a very strong Rebel Baron power play as they start to push on through.
Yeah, it feels like this should be the second to last nail in the coffin, most likely. Although, if someone on the side of Vitality missteps, it could just be the final one.
Yeah, I mean, Rhilech is doing what he did yesterday, which is just solo pushing as a jungler, which, I mean, it makes a lot of sense when Maynter's on the tanks, but it's such a nice way to see that they've already kind of considered how they want to try and play at these games and giving that gold to Rhilech and that space to Rhilech.
Wall there from Poby to try and split the team. Tower, most of the center of attention for Navi. Not getting too much damage down, though. One of the downsides is the splitting attention. The waves aren't really synced either, so they essentially push back top and then push out mid. Vitality pretty content with the way that things have played out here. You can see Humanoid did push out bot wave, so there's no wave to play on there for Navi. This last wave doesn't seem like it's going to have too much effect. So Navi want to break the base. They need to do it on this wave. That is the timer that they're on, but Fleshy wants to start a fight instead. Nako instantly in the backline looking to lock up Somdi. Somdi in trouble now. Nako finally putting the goal to good use. As Humanoid also doing a good job. Carzzy locked up, knocked up. The ball damage coming in from Rhilech, and it might be enough to turn the fight. Nako finally found his way into the backline, but now they're finding their way onto him. Poby still standing. The Unraveled Earth, the flick back, a good buffer from Fleshy. But it does not matter. Navi holding on in that fight. A good effort from Vitality.
The wallets were too large. The Chemtech Dragon was too strong. The low health bars for Navi just could not be punished. It was a great attempt from Vitality, but unfortunately it just was not enough in this game.
No, it was not. TP's coming in now as well, because it feels like two top laners in the base. Rhilech and Maynter finding their second win on this stage, backed up by Poby. Fantastic game from this team overall. Vitality maybe one last desperate hold, but I think after day one, people have learned to just hit the Nexus. So they're taking their sweet time. Maynter's gonna die for it, but they will win in the end. Navi 2-0 in LEC Versus.
And a well-earned 2-0 for this squad as well. Navi looking good coming into LEC Versus.